into it. Today, we are going to be talking all about delivery to your amazing clients. And it's really cool because everybody in here is a coach. So, one of the reasons why I moved this out of the essential pillars initially in this, like right now for this round, this is the first round I've actually made it a part of the additional systems instead of the essential systems, is some people might not coach people over an extended period of time, but I know that every single person, this is going to be super relevant to. And also, Missy, I know you are, if you watch this back, I know she's on like a boat trip right now, which is like so fun. So I hope you have a blast with that. And we are going to get into the client results and testimonials. So, one of the things that I have found with many things that I've been a part of in the short time, but also like it feels like forever that I've had my business, is that I have found also, you guys can hear me, right? I was like, I did turn my mic back on. Yes. Okay. It's like, sheesh. And I have my standing desk today. So if anyone puts anything in the chat, like just like wave at me and I'll like look down because I'm like, that's where the chat box is for my screen. So just a heads up, if you're like, what is she doing right now? I'm like, looking at the chat. That's what's happening. So, when we are talking about over delivering results, we want to make sure that our clients are not only delighted, but like a way to ensure that they are getting what they came here for. And I think this is like a pivotal thing that most people will see. And then we're going to talk about how to make your own ways to track progress. So within your Google Drive, that you have 4 6-figure systems, you all are tracking your progress using a form. And I'm going to talk to you about how to do it just pure spreadsheet for your clients. And if you want to use a form like what I do, what you do for the first 10 minutes of the call, that is something that you will be able to make as well. Then we're going to talk about testimonials. Some of you guys might have even found me because you downloaded my testimonial template. That's a freebie that I have, which is kind of cool. So, testimonials are extremely important. We're going to talk about how to collect them, who to collect them from, and how they can make a robust flavor for the posts that you're doing in your business. And then we're going to talk about this shouldn't say offer workshop. I keep thinking I changed it, but then we're just going to coach. It's going to be great. So, within your over delivering for results, something that I was thinking about recently is that when you are a service based business, the purpose of a service based business like coaching is to provide a service which gives you a result. The thing is, it's different than buying a product because it's not like when you have this lemon juicer, I don't know why like my brain saw this, but it's like when you have a lemon juicer, you are going to have this like it's like you will be able to juice lemons easier. Like that's a clear result. If you purchase a lemon juicer, you will have the juice of lemons and it will be great. It's easy because you can see it. It's a tangible result. As a service based business, we are in the business of creating intangible results, things that people can't see, touch, smell, or hear, within themselves. It's all internal. And so that's one of the reasons why having those pillars for your business is so great because then you can always constantly redirect people to like, hey, I get you results. And even if you can't see it, you're going to have more confidence. And in some way, shape, or form, you are saving somebody time, money, and energy. So, one of the things that we want to be thinking about why this is important is even if you're like, I really just want to I don't know if I have aspirations of even building like up to 6 figures. Maybe I want to, not only, I was like, it's like maybe my intention with this business is to provide like this amount of income. And that's the purpose of it. And this is going to be a piece of my contribution. We still want to be known in the industries that you reside in as coaches. I want all of you guys to be known in the industry. And I want you to have a trusted brand. I want you to have like, and even though like it's not like a cereal box logo. You don't need to go through and make anything different, But we want people to recognize that they aren't just investing in you, but they are investing in the result. And that's why we named your programs. So instead of people being like, I'm investing in Stacey Bayman, they invested in 2K for 2K. Instead of people investing in Dorothy, they invested in 90 days to get over your ex. Instead of investing in, oh my God, I can't remember her name right now. I can see her right now. She was my breakout room instructor. Anyways, instead of investing in that person whose name I can't remember, you are investing in lose the last 10 pounds. So we want to build that so that other people, not only just the people that are like, you clearly are like, oh, I can work with this person, it's going to be great. But we want to build like a business, not just like your credibility as a business. So the first piece of getting a more credible business is by over delivering for your current people. And there are three reasons why we want to like just obviously like everyone in this, there's not a single human that I'm concerned that you don't want to over deliver for your people. Every single one of us is like very much like in a service based place in our brains and hearts and things like that. And we all want to help other people. But what can feel really intimidating is getting that feedback and tracking progress. So we want to look at it as like, okay, this is the business, not you necessarily, especially when it comes to feedback. When you guys each month, I have it scheduled, and Sharon, thank you so much for helping me make sure that everything else was scheduled. Totally didn't send this to you guys. It's the first chance that you're seeing it right now. But when you are doing those feedback forms, when I initially started it, it was it was hard to hear feedback. People weren't always like delighted, and I took it really personally. And I want you to separate yourself from your business and be like, this is just feedback for six-figure systems. It's another reason why it's like helpful to have a name instead of it just being you, because the when we're thinking about what's working, what's could use improvement and what you want to do differently, we can be like, oh, I'm not working. And it's like, no, 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 no. It's like, this is just a piece of my business that I want to improve. You know what I mean? And I have here, like, if you're not earning, you're learning. I'm like, that's always like a good philosophy to have. It's like, so if this is not a happy experience, then I'm learning and I'm going to get better from it. And just like a little shift to have. The next piece of tracking progress and feedback is going to see, like, for your program, we want to have clients see how far they've come. And there are three reasons why tracking your client's progress is really beneficial. First off, you know where they're at. You can actually see their growth. So you can be like, oh, I noticed that I told them that when they do this program, they're going to become more confident. And for the past 3 weeks, they've ranked their confidence at a 2. This is something that is like, oh, okay, so I need to figure out how I can help them so that they move confidence up and they can see that they've grown as they work with me. When they see that they can literally see the improvement, when clients literally see the improvement, there's something like our brain forgets like I need to find that the like actual quote, but it's like we forget 80% of our progress like 2 days after we have done something. So it's like we like it's like there's like it's a study that like people will just like totally forget how far they've come. If you have it physically written down, like you have grown, it's like we can see it in a little chart. Then you literally like are they can be like, oh, I grew from this instead of forgetting how far they've come. So the first thing is that we're gonna you're gonna make the templates for it. The thing I think I discussed this with you guys before, but the tricky part about Google Forms and Google Folders is you can't duplicate them. Like I can't give you a copy of this feedback form, which would be so much easier, but now you get to learn the fun skill of creating a Google form. So I have a video in here about how to create a Google form. I also have it's this is literally all that you want to ask. And if you've never created a Google form, it is really, really simple. And it might take a while for you to figure it out. But if you just follow that video that's in this module along, you will be able to create a form of your own. I think it's like 7 minutes long. It's like not long. So we want to create forms like this. You can also collect it just by asking your clients. You could email it to them. You don't need to create a Google form. But one of the things that I found is like the first question is like, how satisfied are you currently? That's been really helpful for like people in my group. And I'm like, oh, it's like I'm intrigued. I'm like, what in like even if it's a high number, if I'm like a seven, what's keeping people at a seven? What could I do to make to what are they looking for? What are the three things they're missing to get to a 10 where they're truly satisfied? If they're a lower number, tons of opportunity. And it's like, okay, this is an opportunity for me. If it's like a two, if they're like, I am not satisfied, it's like, okay, let's have a conversation. But I make the names not required in case they want to be anonymous. So that's just my opinion. But if there's somebody that you're like, oh, they ranked it a two, it's like we should have a conversation. Be like, hey, it's like, what kind of things were you expecting when you started coaching with me? I want to go above and beyond for you. And I want to see like how we can bridge that gap between now and the end of the program. So when you, again, Google Forms are super easy, um, very quick things to do. However, if you want to just email them, that's great too. I had a word. I had some words that I was going to say here. It's okay. It'll come back maybe by the end of it. But they just having that form and making that available, I found that like people are not typically malicious. Like people are not like just looking to be like jerks and be like, this sucked. Like very few people actually do that. If I've never actually seen anyone do that with me, but if they do, then that's just a conversation that you can open up. So within that, we, you guys are all tracking your progress in a spreadsheet right now for your form. So every form that you do, beep, 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 every form actually populates a spreadsheet of all the responses. So your personal form that you just filled out is going to populate all the responses into a spreadsheet. One of the things that I found is that if I ask people to do things outside of a call, they won't. Just human nature. Like a lot of times people are like, nope, not going to do this today. And that's totally fine. It doesn't mean anything about you. I've had a lot of people be like, they didn't fill out like the feedback form. And I'm like, they just don't have anything to say. But like, if you have a question, let's talk to them. So one of the things that I found to be really, really helpful is I start every call with wins. What are five things that are working? Or what are five wins? What's working? What could use improvement? And what do you want to do differently? These three questions I start with every time. Then I get into regular coaching. Then I do what is your goal for next week? What do you want to accomplish? What is your breakthrough? And then I do this with them. And I actually pull this up and I show them. I'm like, what would you rank burnout today? Time management, confidence, work life balance, long term plan, enjoy your job, life fulfillment. And then the other thing that's important about that is having the baseline to be like, okay, what is a five for you with burnout? And making sure that like it's like maybe they're tired that week because they might have hormonal changes or they didn't get sleep. But I'm like, what is your ability to overcome burnout? Do you understand how to use the model to like overcome the mental side of burnout? With time management, do you have a calendar? Are you utilizing it? It's the skill rather than the immediate feeling in each moment. Tammy.
Thank you. I was going to ask, when you collect your questions, I know like I can see the response sheet, which looks different from the sheet that you have on the screen. Is there a way, do you have something where our answers go into a sheet that looks like what I'm seeing on the screen that you see on your end? Or is it just like the under classroom where I scroll down and I see kind of
Spreadsheet.
like,
Yeah. It's just this. So the form itself is like the only thing I see for you guys is the spreadsheet that I have for all of you guys. And I mean, I can click into the form too. But today I'm going to show you guys, the first thing, if you need help with it, but we're going to track your results in the form. So you're going to actually see your graph. I think I might have done it for you guys already, but I'm going to show it to you again today. So great, great question. And the only reason is if you make a spreadsheet from a Google form, this stuff to make it look jazzy and things like that, I can't, it's like you can't do that to my knowledge. I was like, I don't know if you can like say your goals each month. So I just kind of check in with your goals with like the implementation thing. And then Shannon had a question as well. And I'm like, hold on. I was like, oh my gosh, you may be signing your first paying client today. Very exciting. That's yes, I can absolutely coach you today. Sorry, I'm like trying to like look down. Got you with Stripe and I got you. I was like, sorry. I was like, I saw that there was something in the chat and I was like, Shannon wants some coaching. And I was like, we're gonna just coach. We got it today. So within the progress tracking, are there any questions about how I do that or are you feeling pretty good? Amazing. If you have questions later, let me know. Now, going forward, the reason why getting really awesome results for your clients is a huge bonus is we want clients to do three things. We want them to renew if they want to. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing if they didn't renew, like I discussed earlier. We want them to refer people that they know to us, and we would love for them to give us a testimonial. Not that we need them to, but it would be awesome if they did. So, the reason why testimonials are so beneficial is that 72% of consumers see that, like, if there's a positive review, they trust the business more. And then 88% of customers, and it's actually 89, I need to change it, but 89% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. So if I was literally like the difference in me being like, "Oh my gosh, you guys should totally sign up for Jackie's thing. She's amazing. I love her." Me saying that to you has the same conviction as like Teresia's testimonial on my Instagram. Like that's pretty incredible. They think about is as a personal person. So we want to think about that as well. So I actually switched this form around a bit. So instead of it being video, it's like I have video first and then written testimonial. So you're gonna all make a template of this today. But one of the things that I also learned is that 95% of people prefer, like, if they see a video, they're sold. 95%, which is like a lot. So it's wonderful if we can get some videos of former clients. And who do you collect testimonials from? That's a question I get pretty frequently. You can collect testimonials from anyone that you have worked with previously for pay. You can get testimonials for anyone that you've worked with that is free. You can get testimonials from friends that you have given good advice to. Those are people who you can collect testimonials from. Now, the second question I get is when to ask for a testimonial. When is it a good time to see like to ask somebody to give it to them? I found that a lot of people have the misconception of asking for a testimonial only at the end of the program. I disagree with that because if they're seeing you every week, you can remind them gently and be like, hey, if again, totally up to you, but if you have time, if you could record a quick video, that would be super, super helpful. So you can like be like, hey, you actually offered to do this, so that would be great. And I like to ask clients when they've had a really big win. So I asked one of my clients on Monday and I was like, hey, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm so excited. And I like to give my reasoning for it. And I was like, a lot of people think that if they join six figure systems before they've coached anybody, before they like have done anything, then it might be too advanced for them. And I was like, if you wouldn't mind sharing that, like, you just started your business when we started working together and you've grown, that you don't have to wait until you're like at a different stage or income level for your business, that would be really helpful for me. Would you mind sharing that story? That a lot of times is really helpful when you're asking for those testimonials. I'm like, and I usually ask right after a big win. So I think about like what would be compelling for people who are looking at potentially working with me, what would be a compelling thing for them? And what would be like, how can I would you mind sharing it so other people work with me? Like I'm like because a lot of times people are like, "Oh my God, like I don't know, I feel like a little nervous." But if they think about again, instead of focusing on themselves, serving other people, just like we do in our businesses, it is like a way, I think, healthier motivation. And also like they're more willing to be like, oh yeah, for sure, I'll say something because that's where I was before I started working with you too. So I get that. So if they don't record a video, they can do the written ones. And you know how we do the how I recommend doing a post and a reel? Balloons. I was like, but like within your business, you know how I recommend doing a post and a reel? You can do a post with the words, and then I like to record a reel, and I'll be like, let me tell you about Becky. When we first started working together, she was amazing. And if they give you a headshot, I actually did this with Vindia, and I like literally put her headshot as like it popped up on the reel, and I was like, this is her. She's a real person. She wrote this. It's true. If they only let you say their name and they don't give you a headshot, then you can just say, it's like, I, Vindia is an incredible client. She was able to create like 11 consistent, like 5-figure months, blah, 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 going into that. If you, if you are just working with somebody and they shared something that was like insanely like just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome, that can also be a testimonial. You just don't need to include their name. And it's like, let me tell, so the reel for that one would be like, let me tell you a shift that my client had just this week. That can also count as the hot post that you're doing each week. And you can be like, yeah. I was like, Tammy, I just like love the like expression. I was like, it's just so wonderful. I'm like, yes, that's like literally what I started at the beginning. Cause I was like, no one was giving me testimonials. So I was literally just like, all right. I was like, they did this. They got a 40K pay raise. Kind of jazzy. You might want to think about working with me. So within that, you can have different layers. None of them are like, it's like statistically, videos are great. But even if you don't have videos, you could just talk about each client's journey each week and bonus points if you make it relate to your pillars. Teresia.
The way you said my name. Um, so do you get consent with the last version of testimonials before you post them? Okay.
Unless it's like something really specific. And I'm like, this farmer who I work with, who everybody knows I work with a farmer, and they're like, oh, we know it's Jeremy, the farmer. I was like, I don't know who that is. But it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, if
Yeah,
people are
unless
like,
it's really
oh, I
specific,
know,
yeah.
then they'll be like, I don't know about this. But if it's like a general win, like I just got a consult, it's like I might have my first paying client today. I'll share that as well. Another thing, I'm so glad you asked that. Another thing that is so funny, I started doing this and so this was in the beginning of 2022. So I realized the benefits of testimonials. So I didn't even actually take that back. I didn't realize the benefit of testimonials in my first year, which was 2020. I just randomly asked Grace and Kristen, you can still go back and look at them. I was like, hey, would you do an Instagram live with me? Like, would you be willing to do an Instagram live with me? Because they felt weird about like, they were like, I feel weird doing the video. So you can ask people to do collaborative Instagram lives with you and you can do like a test run and stuff like that and then use it. All Jess is a great one, and I still use hers all the time. And I just took a snippet from our call to make that happen. But let me show you what it looks like. So, like, that's another outlet. If you guys want to do something like that, it's extremely helpful. The other thing, I'll just post this in the group, but it was like, you can see like this was Alice's. So like I just literally asked her the questions and be like, "Hey, it's like I wanted people to know your experience. Like, would you mind sharing about this?" And so she came on. And then this is another one like with Kristen I did at the beginning. And I just put the captions there and chose like a minute of like I mean, I think we talked for like 40 minutes. But anyways, I did that at the beginning of my business. Literally like right at the beginning. It was like I started my business in August and I did them both in September because in the first couple sessions they got like they were like everybody needs coaching. And I was like, I agree. I was like, let's go on live and like talk about it. So literally we did that and I got 6 more consults from that. Ended up working with 6 total clients. So like not all of them signed, but like I I did that in September and I didn't post another testimonial until May. I didn't think about it as a testimonial. I just kind of was like, we're excited. We're sharing about coaching. Great. But I didn't get a single consult for 7 months. Might have been a correlation, you know? So it's like, nothing is a causation. Nothing is proven that like the second people started seeing my testimonials again, they started buying. But I did go 7 months, not even without like signing people, 0 consults. Like no one even booked a call. And then I went to have people booking a call. So it's really, really valuable for you to consider. The other thing I want to say is another thing that I started posting testimonials, just the videos and the posts of what they said in 2021. In 2022, I started doing the thing. I don't know if you guys have seen on my stories, but and also if you don't have Instagram, no big deal. But what I've started doing is I started doing like a text to myself and doing hashtag. If you guys can see that here, hold on. I was like, let me stop sharing my screen for just a moment. I try and avoid doing this as much as I can, but I think this would be helpful. I'll share this with you guys as well. So a lot of times if a client has a win, I'll text it to myself. She did not text me this. I texted this to me. I screenshotted the text that I texted to myself to look like it came from somebody, my client. Here, I was like, man, I'll send you guys a video of how to do it. I put up a pretty background, started creating brand name recognition, 6-figure systems, book your consult here. And I actually try and do this every single day now. I do one of those every day. So not only am I doing the weekly testimonial, but I do it every day. And when I started doing that in 2022, all of these people were like, people in your business are killing it. They're like, you really get results, don't you? I'm like, I do, and I always have been, but I have never shared it. So I'm glad that I shared it now. So make sure that you're sharing your clients' wins, and those I don't typically ask for consent for. I just will choose, like from your 5 wins, I'm actually in the process of hiring a VA to go through and do things like actually uploading these videos and like your posts on time, because it's like that is something I recognize that I need an area for improvement, growth. But I'm gonna have her go through all of your wins, or him or them, whoever. And I'm going to have them copy one of your wins for the week and post it and do the same thing for me. So it's just like literally if you another reason to start collecting 5 wins to start the week, you can just go through all your clients and be like, I'm just gonna choose number 2 and copy and paste it to myself. So awesome. Tammy, what is the question you had?
Okay, thank you. This is so helpful. My question is like, I notice on your Instagram, like you'll tag people that you've had coaching calls with. Are
Mm.
those clients that you're tagging, or are those people that you are receiving coaching from? And if they are clients, do you get their consent first? Is there something that they sign in the way of a release of, hey, I'm aware that I
Good question.
share, like, because like I'm just thinking in
Yeah.
terms of context of what I do.
For you.
I tag people, they would flip out. You know, like some of them would be like, oh my gosh, no, I don't want the world knowing I need help with finances or whatever,
Gotcha,
you know.
gotcha. So that's funny you say that. I've actually never asked anyone recently. I hope it's cool with you guys. Been posting you every week, so I hope that's good. I think it's helpful for you guys as business owners. So specifically for business owners, I think that's great. What you could do, I post the heart next to people who I have coached, and then I usually clarify. I'll say Coach Samantha, and then I'll say get coached by Jackie. And so that's where I'll create like the difference for like who I am coaching to get coaching from. And I'll usually do a different emoji. So I'll maybe do like the flames if I'm getting coached, and I'll do the hearts typically for all coaching calls. For you, what I think could be really cool is um like just doing an initial. Oh my goodness, I need sorry. It's like, what is Nugget? But it's like I would do like you could do like Coach SV instead of Coach Samantha, be like Coach SV, Coach S, like TP, Coach
Oh, okay, so like initials.
initials.
You're
Yeah.
not
And
tagging anyone, you're just putting
yeah.
initials, Or are you still kind of like,
I
how you
wouldn't
can
tag.
tag someone?
Yeah, well, unless that they're like, you could ask and you could be like, hey, you've gotten phenomenal results. I don't know if you've seen in my stories, but I've been like tagging people's initials and I would love to like add, it was like, I would love to share that like you've gotten such awesome progress, but I would maybe do that for you after you've asked for a testimonial. So they're already familiar with like sharing themselves. And then, because I would do the first, if we think about them sharing themself, receiving help, that's a kind of vulnerable moment. And so what I would do is I would save that vulnerable ask for the biggest reward for you. So I think that the biggest thing that can help your business is a testimonial that you can use time and time again. Like Roma, whose testimonial I'm doing this week, the last time I did hers was June and I've posted her in January. Like I've used that testimonial like 4 times. But so it's like this is going to be a lot more bang for your buck versus like a tag in a story after they've given you a testimonial. Like for you all, like some of you guys did pre-working together videos. So then I know it's cool if I tag you. And if someone was like, hey, it's like, I don't love being tagged, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Didn't even realize it. Like, thank you so much for like sharing that with me. And I will use your initials or omit you. I'll say coach, client, coach, client, coach, client from here on out. So great question. I was like, and if nobody knows what I'm talking, I was like, I think you guys probably might know what Tammy's talking about, but I do these things called, and this has been getting great responses, by the way. I don't know why. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a moment.
Well, it's because you're tagging people and then they get the chance to share it to their stories. And then if
Uh-huh.
people all like it, then those people start showing up in your algorithm and seeing your direct posts.
Yes. And I think that like people, like I've had people, so it looks like this. So it's got like hearts for people who I coached. And then I did like marketing protocol to be like, oh, I did admin. There is a protocol. I teach my clients this. If you're curious about what it is, ask me and maybe we could work together. Like for instance, I peer coached Xana. So that's what the peer coach no stress CDS is. And then if I got coached by somebody else, I would have that there. But again, my positioning is like approachable and like like I want to be approachable, but like also like I know my shit. So it's like that's why I do a lot of casual pictures, like with me and my cats, because then people are like, "Oh, I have cats." Like hashtag relatable. Like it's like that kind of a thing. Could be helpful too. But yeah, great question. And I don't think and even like if people from their Instagram are getting it, actually the reason why Zana and I coached together yesterday is she was like, "Oh my God, you're coaching all these people every day. That's amazing." Like, and she was like, wow. She's like, I can't believe you coached. Like the first day back in the year, I coached from 9 to 9 accidentally, not really purposefully, but like totally cool. But she was like 12 hours. She was like, you're amazing. But like, I think other people are seeing that too. And they're like, wow, impressive, and a positioning for work-life balance that my client, Amy, I'm having her do is she's posting like, okay, I did work, but I also got to hang out all day. So it's like my work didn't take a lot of time and I've been able to get all my work done and I still hang out with people. Like that's the positioning that she's going for. And that's a lot of the times the reason why I post like when I get like drinks with like a friend or things like that. I'm like, yeah, not only am I running a multiple six-figure business, but I also have a life. So that could be helpful too. Teresia, you had a thought, and I don't know where I was like, if anyone's posting in the chat, just raise your hand because it's
Um,
funky for me to like crouch.
I don't, I'm not sure whether this question belongs in. I'm okay if you like punt it to another time.
Yeah,
Um,
bring it.
but but your this word, the mention of positioning is making me think that I have never quite thought of my own positioning. Yeah, like here
Yeah,
and what are we gonna get to talk about it or I don't know. Like
I would think
tell me
about,
more. Like
yeah,
is it
of
like an
course.
intentional time
So
you've spent?
if it really hasn't been like something intentionally that I've thought about, that's a great question. But I would ask yourself two questions.
Yeah.
What do I want people to think and feel when they are seeing my business for the first time? When they are like in the first frame of my business, like they've opted in to follow me. And what do I want them to think and feel when they work with me? If you can come from that mindset of like, how do I want to be perceived for other people to take compelled action? What would that be? And so then you can like, so for me, I think that it's easier to take action when someone's approachable instead of distant. So that's a
Yep.
word that I was thinking would be appropriate for me. I also want knowledgeable to be a word that like people associate with me. That's why I post a lot of value that
Mhm.
gives people like, and like, I hope you guys feel like that, but like, I hope that like when you were seeing my posts and stuff, you were like, oh my God, like this is like so helpful. I wonder, like, and literally, I've had 3 people in the past week tell me, like, everything that you're giving is ridiculous. I cannot wait to work with you. And I'm using everything that I'm learning to work with you. But it was like, like as a gateway to work with you. So I hope you guys felt like that. And now you're like, oh my gosh, it's even more like when you work with me. Like that's my goal is that like you're like, I didn't even think it could get any better. And it is. That's always my intent for that knowledgeable perspective to be like, I always want people to feel like they're getting an over deliver before they even work with me and after. So for you, I would say that knowledgeable is a word that comes to mind when I think about you. And we also want to, I think sometimes we can get like, when I first started my business, I got real sagey. And I was like, here's the wisdom I have. And not really like just kind of like telling people what to do. Like I was like, I know it. I've figured out all of life. You should listen to me. And I found that it wasn't really what my audience was looking for, not only because it didn't seem relatable, but also wasn't authentic. You know, it's like it is, but I'm like, I give information in a way that's also like humorous, I would find. And like, you know, it's like not as serious. So it's like we want to find like, and the way that you figure out your authentic positioning, trial and error. Like, okay. Like I literally like I've gone that sagey route like 4 different times in my business. And I'm like, and it's because like the first time it was like because my mom was like, she's like, you don't sound professional, I'd never buy from you. And it like said from love. And I was like, but not very helpful. So then I had thought I had to be like super professional, not authentic, repelled all my humans. So just good learning. Great
That's help.
question.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Of course. Denise.
It was just to come back to what you were talking about earlier. Remind me, those are stories, aren't they? When you say you're to do today with your heart. Yeah. Okay. They're not your posts, they're your stories.
Nope.
And you
But
today. Okay. Because my stories are flat. I'm flat with my stories at the moment. I'm very pleased with everything else, but my stories are a bit pants. So I think I'll start doing those.
yeah, we're gonna add a little bit of jazz, a little pizzazz to the stories. I think that's a great plan. And another thing is that like most people, we want to make it as easy as possible. People are inherently functioning from the motivational triad, especially if they've never worked with you. So they're looking to conserve energy, seek pleasure, avoid pain. I know this sounds crazy, but like literally taking the step to leave the stories where they're seeing stuff from you and they're like, oh my gosh, this is really valuable. Sorry. Can't swallow. Go to the link in your bio and book a consult. That's like 3 extra steps that we just want to remove. So start putting the link to book a consult. And again, I'm doing that every single day. And I had like was supposed to have a consult. I think it was a time zone difference. And I have another consult today that I have no idea where they came from. No freaking clue. And I think it's literally because I'm right. I'm like, I think it's literally because I'm posting in my stories every day. Book a consult, book a consult. I would love for you to join.
Is it on are you doing that on your phone and then
Yeah.
screenshot?
So the
I'm
story strategy that I have is I
Yeah, yeah.
repost whatever was posted that day. Like, so
Yes,
it's like, so I do that and I'll be like, new, read shit. Then
yeah.
I'll be like, and also like if you think about the positioning of someone, the average person, I think it's like 75% of people are right-handed. So if they're holding their phone in their right hand, they usually click on the right bottom. So
Mhm.
just like thinking thumbs up to
Mhm.
that. So it's like I always position it on like the right hand side, bottom right, for if I have anything to click on. So like if they click on that, they'll see it. I don't
Mhm.
have the book a consult there because it's like I don't know. It's like,
Okay.
I just didn't put it there. And then I do lifestyle to be like, oh, I'm also a person. And not only am I running this business and doing a lot today, but I cooked, which is cool. And then I do it today. And then I have like my freebie. So it's like a mix of like asking people to opt in and
Oh, you do? Okay, I'm just looking at them.
casualness.
5 things. And then
Yeah.
are you just, and that's taking you what? A couple of minutes every morning? Like we talk 10 minutes?
Yeah, I actually do it usually at the end of the day when I'm watching TV during a
But you
commercial break or something.
Is it, how long does it, sorry, it's probably boring for everyone else, but how long do stories stay on for? If I do them in the night, they stay on till,
24 hours. Great
okay.
question. So
Okay,
like
I
all mine will
can,
end
yeah, okay, I can do that too.
in
Like eat my,
23 hours or 18 hours is when I did it when I was sitting on the couch,
okay, I like that. I'm gonna put that in as well. Thank
right?
you.
Oh,
Mhm.
another thing is I don't know if you guys Sharon, I know you came to the chat or the oh my, the podcast thing that Allison did, but I know that for many people doing a quick reel is it doesn't come naturally always. It's tricky. I've done this for 3 years, and so I know how to like give a minute of value very quickly. Most humans, it's a really learned skill. So work towards it, work towards trying to create that. However, if you click, also, Teresia, the ideal client questions might help you with your positioning. It's underneath bonuses. So like you can like ask yourself, I'm like, who's my ideal client? And what are they looking to think and feel to take action and work with me? But underneath guest speakers, there's one that says Allison's podcast training. If you scroll down to title/AI options, you'll see something called video AI. And actually there was another one that was added that I will add to you guys. What is it here? It was dub um Descript. So Descript is another one. And within video AI, if you feel more comfortable recording longer form content, longer form meaning above 30 to or 60 to 90 seconds. Anything 2 minutes, long form, just for like a definition for all of us. So if you're like, I feel better talking for like 30 minutes or 10 minutes instead of 60 seconds, this video AI and Descript, I keep calling it Dub. I think because of Dubsado, but Descript is another thing that is AI and it can take a long form content. Like this on Monday, I recorded a video in my Facebook group that was 10 minutes long ish, maybe longer. My face is always awesome at the beginning of these. Look at that. I'm like, wow, she's a beauty. She's beauty. She's grace. It's incredible. But it cuts it for you. So that's really cool for you guys to like just have another resource. I don't know if you guys have seen people that like have the words pop up for them. Again, wow, just incredible. But like I need to, I'm like so distracted by my face right now. I'm like, it should not be this vain, but here we are. But like within my videos and things like that, they can give you different templates. So it's like if you're like, ooh, I feel like my style is like jazzy and bright green, go with it. If you're like, ooh, I'm a more subtle light blue, like you can play around with it and have like different ways. And it literally just cut this for me. And I'm gonna put one of these on my story every day to get people to join my Facebook group too. It's just like another strategy. Any questions here?
Can you set the length of time that it pulls? Because like ideally the sweet spot, especially looping videos, is 5 seconds, and then that's where you put a caption and it gets more views because people have to read through the caption. But like for the widget you're showing us the video AI, can you set a time frame on that to clip?
Shorts are, so it's saying that shorts are small snippets up to 1 minute in length. Chapters are divided by the sections of the topic. I think this is more for YouTube. Shorts are more for Instagram and stuff like that. I don't think you could do 5 seconds, but for the 5 second ones, what I would do is I would recommend doing something like with trending audio and just pointing to stuff. Like it wouldn't be like marketing is helpful and then just like Here you go. Those are your 5 seconds. It's just like there's not within 5 to 7 seconds. I don't think there's enough time to say something valuable and then peace out. So that's why I usually point to stuff because I'm like, at least reading, I can say more than I would if I could like physically say something, unless I would sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks, and that would not be ideal. It's like,
Thank you.
So, and I've done that before though. I've literally like tried to speak really quickly. I've tried it all, guys. It's like I've literally tried to be like, I'm Megan Wing. Here's what I do. I'm going to help you and work with me. Like, it's great. Like people are like, what is happening? So another just good old, if no one has any more questions, I feel like these were really fruitful questions. But to come on back, it's like, oh yes, of course.
Sorry, I'm on Video AI right now.
Oh,
And
excellent, excellent.
what did you tick? It says make short clips from long video form videos. Is
So
that what you
when you go here, you'll go to upload import video. So let's say if you
And then-
want to start building a community, I don't like to work as hard if I'm already creating shit. Like I'm like, it just doesn't make sense to me. That's my personal philosophy. I'm like, work smarter, not harder. I'm like, this just is easier. So what I could do is I was like, this is a longer form content. I literally took my pillar of the week was sales. I took the warm posts that I did for the week, and instead of just doing a 60-second piece, I just talked for 10 minutes about it. Just talked, and I'm gonna repurpose this. So what you can do is take this, download the video, click
Yeah.
here, and the video will upload. It's over on my other screen right now. Go to create in YouTube, upload a video.
Yeah, I did this today.
Oh, great, great. Okay, so then I take that, upload it, and I use the exact same words. So I'll literally just be like, before your next consult, watch this. Be like, boom, boom. I think I already did this actually. Yeah. So it's like I did this last week. You guys should probably all be getting my emails, but if you're not, I reuse this shit. Like because what happened is when I first started my business, that's what I'm gonna rant about this week. I would do 7 different topics a week, 5 to 7. And I'd be like, here's something I do that makes me feel better. And also, let me talk to you about time management. And let me tell you how much confidence I've developed. And not only was I like thinking really hard, is it was ruining my search engine optimization too. Cause like I wasn't saying the same thing over and over. So the algorithm was sending me random people and it wasn't working, quote unquote. It's just a thought. But then I like to take that video and I use it for my emails. And then I use it, and then you can upload that same video where it says import video, YouTube link. Oh, I just made this one. Or I could just go browse files, upload. And then you can actually personalize your videos and it'll tell me when it's done. And now I have 60 of 75 minutes left. So you get 75 minutes for free, and I think it's 30 a month. I keep calling it this one. The other one is less. Descript. It's less expensive. I don't know how much it is, but it's less expensive. And it does it really quickly too. The other cool thing is if you click, I can't with my face. I was like, within here, it also adds like the transcript too, which is cool. Demetria, I don't know if you guys have seen me tagging her, but she has a podcast, and this is what she gets for her podcast too. So she'll just like take that, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, I'm already recording all this long form content. I might as well make a podcast out of it too. But coming to your point, we'll talk about in a second with linked, like adding other stuff, when to do that. That was your question in the classroom. I'll coach you on that and I'll tell you my philosophy around. Actually, I'm just gonna tell you right now. So I don't add anything. Like for LinkedIn posting and networking, if you are like, I'm already posting and networking on Instagram and I want to add LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
I actually make it a separate calendar thing. So this is my LI LinkedIn engagement. And then outreach is for Facebook and Instagram. I didn't add anything new, like a podcast, even if I could see it. Like I'm like, I know every single reel that I'm putting out can be a TikTok. and a
Mhm.
YouTube short. I know that it could be repurposed. I do not have time to repurpose it myself. When I hire somebody, they will be able to do that.
Mhm.
So I think the key here is when your question was like when to add LinkedIn posting and networking, when you have this scheduled down, you feel really confident about that you have like extra time, add something
Mhm.
new.
So at the moment, I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, Thursday postings, which is all done. I've already done it for the month. I did, yeah, I did my newsletter today, which is a 10 minutes from the long post, and it's now on my YouTube channel.
Oh, who is she? Love it.
But yeah, I know, thanks. And I've done it, but I've been doing a newsletter on LinkedIn that's my 12th now. But it's the first time I've used YouTube for it. But what I was beginning to start mulling over and getting my knickers in a twist, sorry to use such an English phrase, was oh my God, I should be doing LinkedIn once a day. And I get really stressed out about it. And that's why I used to do it and now I've stopped. So I wanted to know I did notice that you used to put your hot leads onto LinkedIn
Yep.
and your hot reels, I think. You didn't do every reel on LinkedIn, did you?
Yeah. So for LinkedIn, and I don't know why it logged me out, but this is another important thing is you might be at a phase in your business where you got a lot of free time, more free time than you will in the future. So
Mhm.
I was also, before I had 18 one-on-one clients in 2 groups, I was actually going in, I was reposting, like, also something that I noticed is like, there's an Instagram group that I created for you guys to repost to. Again, I'm like have not always been great about it, but like all these people are like reposting their stuff in there. So you guys can do that within the group I created. I'll tag everybody in it in just a second. But and it's essentially just to go in and like be like, okay, I'm gonna like this post. Oh, yeah. It's like I'm going to like Tammy's post and comment on it. I'm like, oh, it's like, oh, where'd she go? It's like, I love this idea and I loved Peru. 2 great posts. I have no idea what she actually said, but that's something I used to make time for. That's what the LinkedIn engagement was for. There are going to be
Mhm.
times when you've got ample time and you can add stuff to your calendar. And then there are going to be times when you're like, I need to scale back. Like I can only do the bare minimum. For these past 30 days, 31 days, some whatever, I have not done any self-coaching. I haven't worked out. Thumbs up to that. I was like, I haven't worked out. I haven't done any self-coaching. I've literally just been getting my marketing to my person. I have a ton of unread messages right now in all the forms and places.
Mhm.
And I'm choosing so within that, I'm like, even though I have not made time to check the boxes that I would love to check, I had to scale back for my physical health. And I'm choosing to believe that my mind bare minimum is enough for people to work with me.
Yeah.
So I think that your brain might be having a thought that like LinkedIn, like to do different platforms is right. Like I have to do all the platforms to make it work, essentially to make my business work and scale. Is that kind of like a flavor of the thought you might be having?
No, it's more I'm catching up with the Leeds platform the class you did on the 26th because I wasn't there. And I'm looking at my cold, warm, hot leads. And all of the LinkedIn people are people I've met in person at my
Mm-hmm.
network. So it's like 450 people over the last however long I've been networking year. So they're all people I've met and liked, and they've liked me enough. So they are all there as I think you'd say coldish warm leads.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going with that brain, not feeling that I've got to be everywhere.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
yeah,
Totally
it's more
different.
about trying to, yeah, it's
I'm like
trying
completely just assumed that it was incorrect.
no, no,
So
no, no, no.
excellent.
What I was trying to do today is think through what have I already got rather than
Mhm.
trying to go out and find amazing lots of people. I mean, my networking thing's still going, so it's going to happen, but So I've already got these 450 connections or whatever. I guess my query is it enough to post twice a week on LinkedIn? I mean, this is an offer for everybody to ask. You know, it's more like.
So I would say that it's whatever you choose.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it kind of was tied somehow. Not the way that everybody expected. It took a plot twist, but we came out. But it's like, so my, uh, so I would love to get my blog going. The reasoning for that is that if I get a blog going, then I can get more clicks on my website and it can help me with other goals, like potentially doing more media things, like getting articles and stuff like that in the future if I have more clicks on my website. So my social media manager said I cannot do that. She was like, I love you and no. She's like, I cannot continue to post on blog, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all these places for you. It's too much. And so I just had to choose to be like, okay, even though this easily could be posted on my blog, I'm choosing to be like, you know what? LinkedIn, Instagram's enough. I'm going to choose to believe that, like, and I actually don't think that she's posted everything that I've asked her. I was like, which is totally fine. Yeah, she only did 2 posts last week instead of, so 2 posts on LinkedIn. I'm choosing to believe it's working, you know? And I think that she took a couple weeks off of it, which is totally fine. I was like, yeah, I think right
Okay.
after my launch, she just like didn't post at all. And I was like, I'm choosing to believe that even though it's inconsistent, it shall still work.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Well, I've scheduled in two slots a week for half an hour.
And you
of-
could, it's also a lot easier to build up than build back. So let's
Yeah.
try 2.
Yeah.
Start there. If that feels good to you, you could just do 1 and or not even just, but like you could do 1 and be like, all they need is 1 post a week. And then I'm going to add another one and another one if I want to, if I find that I've got more time on my plate. And you can also build back at any time too. Like I had to scale back in these past couple weeks and nothing, my business is going to be just fine too.
Yeah.
So if you find that you're doing 2 posts a week and you're like, oh my God, I need to do 1, it's
Well, it's
still
my
gonna be
newsletter. And that's my regular thing on a Friday, so or Tuesday, whatever it is. So
just like,
okay. I think that was all. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. It's great.
of course. I was like, that was a good question. I think like mini coaching and good question. Sharon. And actually we're done with the slideshow. Let's just like pull up some coaching. What let's just start if you've got questions and I know you want coaching as well. So let's just go for it. Start with the win. What is something positive that has happened to you this week? And then we're going to get into it. Oh, hold on. I can't hear you. I was like, I want to catch you before you get too far.
My win is the client that I coached. I mean, did a consult with, and then I had a follow-up with. She did finally make a decision yesterday, so it sounds like we're going to move forward. So that's my win. So that's good.
Yes. So proud.
Thank you. And I was going to build on the previous question, and then I have my other questions, but I think it's good to, because I'm just getting into more of the social media, and I liked the questions that were, you know, the conversation that we just had. Build up instead of build back. I think what I was looking at, and I was looking at where is I think my audience is. Where do I think kind of like what you've seen the results you're getting from different things. So do more of that. Just like it seems like if you have more, you've done more in-person networking, it would make sense because a lot of people career focused, you have LinkedIn accounts. Not to say that you won't get it from Instagram, but I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying to figure out. I can't do everything. So where do I want to start first, and what's gonna be my audience?
Yes.
So I think that was a good. I just appreciated that question and that feedback back and forth. So that was excellent.
I'm so glad.
So I kind of put it in the chat. So I had 2 things. One is I set up my Stripe account, and I had a couple questions there, but I've watched YouTube video after YouTube video. the client though, so I have a
That's
6 month program where you have 6 months, you have your one-time payment, or you have your, they can do six months of payments, a payment plan. But they've asked, which I think I'm just gonna have to update my client agreement, and I'm gonna have to update, I did already create in Stripe a payment plan. They want to do basically 2 payments. So
Okay.
pay half this month and half next month. And I don't see a problem with that, but I was just kind of curious how other people have handled that. Like for your program, you have, you know, you're pay in full or pay in 6 months, and it's different. What have you, I'm just curious what,
My philosophy behind it.
yes.
Yeah. So one of the things that I found is that a confused mind says no. So if somebody is confused,
It's them asking for this. It's not me.
then it's great. But like
Okay,
a
they're
lot of
asking.
times, yeah. So if like what happens is like at the end, my philosophy is at the end of the consult, I offer my pay in full price. And then
Mhm.
if they say, oh wow, that's a lot, do you have any payment plan options? I say I do have monthly. And if they're like, okay, weird question, I can't make that work. Could I do like half and half? Or could I do like this and this? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, I can make that work. I actually don't find that I need to update it in my terms and conditions. You can if you want to, but like I don't even think you need to do that. You can just make a different payment plan and send it to her personally.
Okay. Well, and that was my other question is like, I know you have yours in your terms and conditions, and I actually had a client agreement. So I was just curious what most people are using. Are they using terms and conditions or a client? Because the client agreement I have that I got from an attorney through another program, it just seems a little much.
Yeah, it might seem like a bit much. So I'm
Yeah.
going to include my terms and conditions if you want them.
I did look at it. Yeah.
You did. And I was like, and
I was
literally
just curious
anyone
what,
can
yeah.
keep it. Go ahead.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
you were curious.
I was referencing yours because I was kind of changing the language, but the key is like when I talked to the attorney, they made a point to say that, you know, if you get it, like if some people are copying and paste it from another place and it might not necessarily fit yours or be legal in that way. So that's why I was just curious.
Yeah, that is a great like so it's like I talked with a lawyer and I every time that I changed it, I would pay them and I was like I got to the point where I was like they are changing just this
Right.
and I'm already paying for insurance. Like I don't feel a need to do this. So what like I was like so I just changed it myself. And
Okay.
I think like it's and I talked with a friend who's a lawyer and they said that was fine as well. So I'm
Okay.
actually gonna instead of releasing this underneath bonuses, I'm gonna post it and it's like my contract if you need an example. I
Mhm.
used Hiscox insurance. So that's where you guys if you want to, again, I say in here mostly because I was coaching kids at the beginning. So
Right.
that's the only reason why I got anything. Um, I included anything like that. And another cool thing for you guys is that I'm actually a tax deduction. So here is a W-9. If you want to submit this to your accountants, you can literally click in here and be like, oh, this is proof that like I spent $5,000 or whatever you've spent to this point in 2023 and 2024. When you get an LLC, you don't want to typically use your social security number. You want to use the employer identification number. And if you want to make your own W-9, I included a blank one. So let's say if you go to a corporation and you're like, I would like to help your leaders do some career coaching in the Career Fulfillment Initiative. I'm actually a tax deduction. It's like legal. They'll be like, oh, cute.
Okay.
That went
My,
deeper than you asked. So
no, that's great. That's actually, I needed that information. And
great.
I do have my LLC. I just hadn't, yeah, I've been working on my business. So, no, that's great. On Stripe, what I ran into, this is just a simple, probably you guys, so when I have my program, so I went ahead and had my 6 month and my full payment plan so that when you go in to make like in our case, you know, if we did 6 payments, when you go on that, you go underneath the client and you do the date there. Is that how you do that? Because that's what I struggled with. Because at first I was trying to set them up as reoccurring payments, but then that made it like 12 months. You couldn't just do 6 months. So I think you sign it by client basis.
Yeah. So I, funny enough, actually use Acuity to make my payments. So
Yes.
I actually pay Acuity and I do all my subscriptions through here.
Okay.
So for you, I don't know what it looks like for Stripe, and I've
Okay.
never done it with, so my provider is Square.
Yes.
I'm actually not sure how you would do it in Stripe. However, if you have Acuity, I will also post this in the group. I did a video about Acuity as well.
Okay.
Because you're just getting all the things today. I was like, because this literally, like when you were like, I've taken hours and it's so annoying. I literally like, I kid you not, it took me like 2 weeks to figure this out. And it was like one of the worst things ever. So I was like, please just don't spend 2 weeks suffering as I did. Learn, here's Acuity.
I've done that a little, so that's why I was like, I'm going to ask for help, because you can go after video after video after video and you're still not getting what you really need. So
Yeah, if you have you paid for Acuity yet? You don't have to at all.
no,
Okay,
because
so
that's a scheduling software, and I didn't want to. I've already paid for quite a few things. I didn't want to add anything else right now.
I totally get that. I was like, I totally get that. And so with Stripe, it's like the way that it looks like in Acuity is probably quite different, but like a package is if someone's doing pay in full, and then went all the way back. A subscription would be a payment plan. And I explain all that in that video
Okay.
that's now in the thing, but like some of my people, like they've had to change their payments, like it's been like random. And they're like, "Oh, it's like they got through like 2 months and their credit card, like you can change the credit cards in Acuity, but yeah, I've worked through the struggles of that, and I don't know how it works for Stripe, but I have a feeling that if you watch this Acuity one, it might give you a similar idea, hopefully, um, to what Stripe has. I'm sorry that's not more helpful.
No, that's perfect. I can figure that out, and I could ask. I mean, I could ask more people. So
Yeah, if anybody else knows, can you reach out to Sharon?
yeah. Yes, I
Same as
asked
that, yeah.
Tammy earlier. So okay.
Woo! Amazing.
And I love that this is very helpful, because this came about with the forms, and that we can do the feedback. When you were going over the spreadsheet, do you just I'm going to do the form like you have with Google, but when you go through the form, were you saying you just ask, like maybe at the first 5 minutes of the class, if somebody doesn't want to fill out the form, you just ask and go through it? Okay, just want to make sure.
I do it at the end, the last
You
5
did it at
minutes.
the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I find that they like have a lot of transformation, which actually reminds me, I want to answer all these questions and coach everybody, but I also want to make sure that you actually have these downloaded in your Google Drive. So I went on a tangent. Is it okay if we make those copies really quick and then I'll get into coaching? Just because if anyone has to leave right at 3, I want to make sure you actually get your templates. Everyone get your templates. Everybody get your templates. So we're going to do that really quick. And then I'm just going to post in the whole group. And if you want to click into the delivery system, we're going to create a new folder for the feedback prompts. Sadly, again, like these, if you literally just copy and paste these into a Google form if you want. We're going to save it into your drive. Go to your 6-figure system drive, create a new folder, 6 delivery. I made it yellow because it's an additional system, not an essential. And then move the feedback prompt there. And then the weekly tracker. Same, but different. You're going to put your program name here and your pillars here and your months here. So you're going to have to do a smidge of editing. And then I have a video beneath that of how to make the graph, the Jazzy graph. It's very fun. And then the testimonial template. Make a copy of that. Throw it in the folder for 6 delivery. And as I told you before, I was like the videos mixed with the written. And if somebody does a video, I use talk to type or like that, like some sort of transcription thing to get. So I say like, you don't need to write words and do a video, just do a video if they're comfortable with that. And then just so you know where it is, if you want to learn how to make Google form, this is an example and you can like just kind of see it here. You can see how to track the progress in the second video. Like I teach you how to do that there. If you want to know how to make a form, it's a 3-minute, not 7-minute video. So even more thrilling. And if you have a group and you want to duplicate forms for that, it's the 3rd video. And then if you guys want to see, like, you remember how I talked about positivity, implementation, breakthroughs? Here is all of the blank ones that I have. And if you want to see a video of how I coach clients, it's the next video. And if you have somebody that's renewing, that's the last document. And that's just like, hey, we're celebrating you. We got 4 sessions left. And then I used to do like future goals and what you want to do differently. But amazing, amazing like questions. If you want to come back out of the drive and come back to the group, Sharon, did I finish answering all your questions? I didn't mean to pause you there. But I just realized when you said weekly tracker, I was like, oh shit. And then I'll come to you, Tammy. I was like, oh, whoops. We didn't make any copies today.
We answered several questions, so you can move on to somebody else. Thank you.
Okay. Of course, of course. And if you have any more, just ask in the group. Tammy.
Hi. Real
Start with the
quick,
win first. I was like,
oh my goodness, where do I start? It's implementing systems. I'm like geeking out over implementing systems, which has been super dope cool. And then like you, I've had people using links that I'm throwing out in my stories, and I'm like, I have no clue who this person is. And you find out who your Facebook stalkers are that way. It's super fun.
I know, right? It's like, it's so funny because I'm like, I didn't know you existed, but
Yes.
selling in your stories is like the best thing ever. And I
It's
want to
amazing.
hear, what can I coach you on? You posted it and I forget.
It's okay. I actually was gonna say, I thought you had said Anise had something before me.
It was
And
just in the group. Oh, thank you
oh,
for checking. I was like, that is so sweet. It was just, she was asking about LinkedIn posting and networking. And so I think, Anissa, you're feeling good with that, right? Okay, perfect, yeah. So,
okay, cool.
all you.
Yay. Okay, so I would love, whether it's coaching, consulting, guidance, whatever hat you want to wear for this, but I would love to dig deeper on the offers and flesh out pillars some more.
Yes. I remember
Because
this.
I'm finding myself a little stuck. Like there's so many directions I can go, and then my brain goes like, so yes, if we could do that, that would be amazing, guys.
Amazing. I was like, I'm just gonna put pillars here so that people can see what we're working on.
Okay.
So within this, we've got your program, the Resilient Life Initiative.
Where do I find that sheet?
Oh my God, I will put it in the chat right now. I was like, this is the editable version, so no one else touch this. And then Tammy, I'm like, don't touch it. I was like, but I'll put the view only version in here.
Well,
So,
if you don't want to mess with me, you could touch it. It would really keep me on my toes, but hey.
ooh, it's like I'm doing, it's like surprise. It's like you didn't know your pillow was
A
friendship.
little bit of a challenge. Yes. Okay. So then I was fleshing out, I was trying to figure out, sorry, I'm going to go to my notes, my other page really quick here. Okay. So I was processing this going, okay, there's so much I can do in the realm of debt consulting. And then there's so much I could do. Like I'm starting to get like downloads of ideas for programs that I could pre-record so that the upsell is always an invitation to do one-on-one coaching or group coaching, which actually takes my time, right?
Yeah.
So if I were to create like an evergreen product of walking someone through the mindsets before they sit down a budget or that kind of thing, so that when they buy my resilient budget, then they're able to actually execute on it. And then if they get stuck, it's like, then there's the invitation for one-on-one or group budget blast kind of thing. So I'm like, I'm still trying to flush this out.
Yeah.
Because end goal, my target is making 20,000 a month. And I know it's very doable.
Let's do it.
I see it. I've had very close taste, you know? And so I'm kind of breaking down, okay, how many things would I have to sell
Mhm.
to be able to get there, right? So it's like my mindset offering is the 6,500, which breaks down to 10, 83, 33 a month.
Mhm.
So I would need 19 clients to get that. Then my accountability offering, so I do accountability, and it's like that could be on anything somebody needs to see the finish line for, and it's just like a 30-minute check-in kind of thing. So that's a 2-hour commitment per month, 30 minutes a week with someone. And I've got that priced at $450, but I would need to sell 44 of those to get to 20K, right?
Mhm.
And then right. And then and that would take 88 hours a month of
Mhm.
fulfillment time, not to mention market time. And then I've got my what I call my fairy godmother offering, which is like your it's like breaking the investment barrier, open wallet, right? So then that's $47. And that's what I'm thinking my evergreen is going to be. So it's like it's just videos that take you by the hand and like a couple templates. They don't really go into the thought work of it because that's what the upsell is.
Mhm.
But I would have to sell 426 of those to get to 20K, right? And mind you, I can do a mix of all these things, but I
Yep.
wanted to kind of flush this out to get numbers going so that I had breakdown, right? Like
Yes.
mapped
This is
out numbers.
exactly the like if we ever have a goal, our
Mhm.
goal is just math. So
Mhm.
we want to figure out what the math is for each offer, and that's what it sounded like you did
Yes.
exactly. So it's like we have if the goal is to make 20K a month, we would need 19 clients a week to for the Resilient Life initiative to do that. You would need 40, it's 450 for this 30-minute check-in, but that would be 44 clients. And
Mhm.
this fairy godmother offering, I'm just gonna say one-on-one, 6 months. 6 months.
Yeah, 6
The
months.
so and then this would be just a 30-minute check-in. This would just be a one-time offer. And then this would be like a what the word evergreen, I if anybody is curious, it means that it's just going at all times and building income. So what I'm hearing from you is that like this goal of 20K a month, we could take
Mhm.
on 19 clients, we could do a mix. And
Mhm.
is your question like what to offer, when to offer, or yeah, so with this, I'm seeing it. I have thoughts about it, but I want to know what your thoughts are first.
So my thoughts are I'm looking for the lowest hanging fruit. I'm looking for and that bottom number is where did it go? 426 customers for the fairy godmother
426.
thing.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And
So,
so I feel like part of my lowest hanging fruit is going to be coming up with that evergreen because then like once I get that out, then it well, ideally I'd be able to create the perfect or better thing that keeps inviting people into my free group. In my free group, I'm constantly dropping in there, hey, one-on-one, and hey, like 1 hour consultation. I didn't even include the 1 hour consultations in there, but I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what makes the most sense? What can I do that is evergreen? What can I do consistently so that it doesn't lead to burnout? Because like I love the one-on-one debt consulting calls. I always get really good. Like I just did one today and the guy posted in my free group. She's extremely knowledgeable and full of good information. If you have issues, let her book her, and it's like,
Yeah.
yes, I didn't even ask for it. But now I know to ask. So,
Yes. Yes.
right. So then I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's the lowest hanging fruit? And also I'm trying to also figure out, okay, what are my buffering thoughts as to why I'm not moving faster with this? Because I
Okay.
feel like I think there's a little bit of decision overwhelm. And like I said, like when I get into overwhelm, it's like, oh, everything shuts down and does not compute. So I really want to flush this. And I think buffering for me is sitting down and going, well, let me just math it. And that's a great way for me to feel productive, but I'm still not doing anything.
We're just doing math. Okay, so we don't want to do math to the point where you're just buffering with math. So here is an interesting thing is you have a thought about lowest hanging fruit, and I think your brain thinks that lowest hanging fruit means the lowest price offer. And I want to offer that that might not be true. Here's why. People, when they're opting in to do something that is breaking their motivational triad, that means it's going to make them not conserve energy, seek something that's uncomfortable. And here, I'll put a little graphic about that. But it's like, you have to change their thoughts enough
Yeah.
to purchase said thought, like to make the purchase. I think your brain is like the lowest hanging fruit is going to be the thing that's the easiest, the lowest to buy. But if you're noticing the hours don't add up. So it's like if you're already going to have somebody spend money with you, this is like this offer, it's like, I don't think your brain is thinking about the other aspects of it. So there is, with the fairy godmother offering, you would have to say it somewhere. You'd have to be like, okay, I'm going to offer this somewhere. Maybe it would be instead of like, how like my freebie right now is is an audit of your Instagram. So it's like you could put it here, and then you could have the Resilient Life Initiative here. But then there's also no place for the debt consulting either. So if we're thinking about the time and energy it takes to market an offer to get people to buy here, the lowest hanging fruit would be these 19, like just pure numbers. This would be the least energy and the most bang for your buck, which is what I define lowest hanging fruit. Like the lowest hanging fruit for me is like bang for a buck, not cheapest.
See, and I was thinking what I could do that would not actually occupy hours than the setup, because like once I get the videos recorded, then people,
Then you're done.
I was popping that in my stories, and every now and then I talk about it on my main pages, and they just snatch it up, and there's no additional work I have to do with it.
Which in that case, then we can say it's a part of your funnel. So then if you wanted to do something like that and have this $47 offering be like, this is part of my funnel, it's like, so if we think about everyone's funnel currently is to market and network. So it's like, that is like everyone, that is the top of it. Then we've got the next opt-in is a consult. The next opt-in is to become a client, right? So you're saying that like you would add the fairy godmother, mother, and debt consulting
Yeah, and
as like the next level to opt in to, like, so it's like there's like the level of follow and then email list, and then this would be like your funnel.
oh crap, I better get an email list going. I've been collecting emails,
Well, I'm
but I
saying that
don't.
like
MailChimp.
that's an option, but I'm saying they follow you, get the thing, and they get the next thing. What
Okay.
I'm finding is that what you're thinking would be a lower hanging fruit, 426 people is a lot of humans. On average, it takes someone 17 times to see one offer once to buy. So if we're thinking about the bang for your buck is your time, I think that like if you spend a lot of time, like even if we're cutting your time in half, you're saying cutting your time almost like maybe not into thirds, but let's say you're even putting like 25% of your energy selling fairy godmother, 25 to debt consulting, and 50% to one-on-one. How
Mhm.
many posts do you do a week?
A lot.
Or
Like
like,
I do, so I do Vista, so I post through Vista Social and I have several different platforms that it auto posts to. So I upload it
what
once
is
and then
that called? Is it like Planoly?
I don't know
This
what Planoly is, but if you go to appsumo.com,
AppSumo?
appsumo.com,
Love it.
you cannot blame me for any purchasing addictions. I'm warning you right now, this thing is crazy good for entrepreneurs. Type in Vista Social.
Okay.
If you have a business account, that's the kicker. It has to be a business account. You can
Yep.
sync it to LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, like every single platform that you have. And it'll also post to private groups, which I have a few of that I'm either a part of or that I run. And so, yeah, there's a lot in there. But
Is it
so
social emotionals?
no, it's called Vista Social. I'm not sure if they might have stopped offering it. But like I paid a one-time thing. There's no monthlies with it. It's a one and done.
Oh,
And I can do unlimited posting across 50 different profiles.
geez, that's awesome.
So it's fine.
If you can if you can find a link for that,
Oh, I
and
will.
that would be awesome. And Planoly and Later are other things that do similar things. You just can't include audio for reels, but I never have invested it until this year. And I don't
no,
know how much it is, but so I
okay.
love that. And so if
To
you're
answer your
posting,
question,
yeah.
mhm. To answer your question, like I'm posting anywhere between 3 times a day up to, if you include stories, 25 times a day.
Let's just do like
And
physical
this is
on your
across.
page. Okay.
Mhm.
So on your page, how many posts do you do a day? 3?
I do between 1 to 3 a day.
Okay, so let's say conservative estimates. Let's say and this does this include weekend?
I'm starting to schedule for weekends, yeah.
Okay.
So usually it's been Monday through Friday because I take, Saturday, Sunday off because I don't want to play catch up on, excuse me, responding to people, but I'm shifting my mindset around that because that's opportunity to have stuff to do on Monday. Have people
Okay,
to
and
reach out.
as my math person, and this goes for anybody who is thinking about adding different like things, the is it which way is it? Would it be like they're gonna have 21 cycles if you post every day, 365 days a year. They would have
Mhm.
21 times that they would see your offer 17 times per offer. So
Mm,
are you seeing what I'm saying? So let's say what's 365 divided by 3? Let's just make it even. So 121 times that you're just posting about the Resilient Life Initiative. If we just break it into thirds, I'm not saying that you might be doing 50% of your marketing is all Resilient Life Initiative, and then you do like 25 and 25%. But if you just break it into thirds, then 121 of the 365 posts would be for Resilient Life. They have to see that 17 times. So you're only giving them 7 in just statistically 7 times for them to actually be like, I want to join the Resilient Life Initiative. It's not necessarily about the ease of it. It just we want to take away from your biggest bang for your buck.
right. Okay. When
So
you
that's
say
just
it,
like a different way to think about it. Does everyone understand what I'm saying? So it's like, even if you were to post every single day, if you're
Mhm.
dividing your time into these 3 offers, one-on-one, like a 30-minute consulting, and the fairy godmother, just for even though it's not your actual time, it's taking away from the marketing exposure of this one, which is going to make you the most money. You can still do it though. Like I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like that's when we're thinking lowest hanging fruit. If your goal is to make 20K a month, if that's like where we're aiming, the lowest hanging fruit to hit 20K a month is the one that's the most expensive. Because it's the least amount of time.
Fulfillment time. I hear, okay, I think I hear what you're saying.
I was
and then
like,
I'll-
so that's where my brain goes, is I'm always thinking like my lowest hanging fruit is my one-on-one. And then I spend 8 months out of the year marketing one-on-one coaching. I only spend 4 months doing the group. And it was 2 months last year. But I know that I'm going to make way more money doing one-on-one than group. So that's where I'm putting all of my energy, is marketing one-on-one, one-on-one, one-on-one. You should work with me. Versus with the group, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a one-time thing. Cause like I know that I'm going to make more money from one-on-one. But I did add my group. That's a great thing for me. I just don't market it in the same capacity at all as my one-on-one. And with the debt consulting calls, this isn't even a 6-month thing. It's a 30-minute one-time thing.
well,
So
no, the
again,
consulting, it's 150 is the 1 hour debt consulting.
okay,
The
so
450 is accountability that I'm doing 30 minutes every week per person.
okay.
So like I've got a couple different offers, and like consistently I've noticed almost every time I put it in my stories for my link for debt consulting, somebody
People
does it.
buy.
Yeah,
Which is, I
people
think, giving you a dopamine hit, which is like, I think it's like, oh, this makes me money. But if we're thinking about that amount of time, I think that's where I'm like, if you really want to scale to 20K a month, but how much time do you want to work a month? If this would be 88 hours, would you work another, like, let's say on average, you work 40 hours a week. So that would be 40 times 4 is 160. Half of your time would be doing the debt consulting. That
Yeah,
gives you
no,
no time to
already.
make content, no time to do that. That's where I'm like, the lowest hanging fruit slash bang for your buck is just a different perspective to think about. Like, and you can still do it. I'm not saying that you can't do it at all. And I want you to. I just want you to also think about like your consumer's experience. Like, if we want to be selling everyone, every single person for sure into Resilient Life, but then they see this debt consulting and they see this accountability and they see fairy godmother and they're like, wait, I like Tammy a lot. Like, I'm seeing her marketing. She's marketing all the time, but what do I choose? And then that's where it comes back to like a confused mind says no. Like, you might get one to pay you, but you're in all of these groups. Like, you're doing all of these things. You
Yeah.
are like, you have so much that you've got a huge audience. And I want you to sell out your one-on-one before the other stuff. Like, I would be like, once I'm sold out with a wait list, then I talk about the other stuff. But what if these debt consulting people, now I know you're talking about working with you one-on-one, but what if all these people who paid 150 would pay 1,000? Don't know if it's true.
So do you mean in the context of raising my price for debt consulting?
No, I'm saying that like, if you're selling debt consulting every day,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to have thumbs up. I want you to have it's like, I want you to sell Resilient Life Initiative more than that.
Oh, so just switch my focus. So my focus instead, what I'm hearing you say is I would be putting out more of the coaching stuff, more of the mindset stuff, and putting my link for booking a discovery call for Resilient Life.
Yes. Because that was
And,
what the things that like you posted about doing the IG audit. And I was like, I don't even see anything about Resilient Life. And I was like, well, that might be why I have a feeling that you've got 19 people right now that are really like, other than the name, and I don't know if you changed it since then, but like, I want every single thing to be about like join Resilient Life, join Resilient Life. It's going to be great. You want like the debt strategist, like notice how it's like mindset coach. It's like ready to manage your mind. Let's do the Resilient Life. It's like right. Whatever I was like, I feel like we wrote something, but like, yeah, ready. Literally this, ready to manage your money, prevent stress. The Resilient Life Initiative is for you. Start here. This is the bio that,
okay,
because
so that whole thing is that's what I put in my bio instead of, I was trying to remember, and I know you had,
Oh my God, you're totally fine. I was like, but like, do you see where I'm coming from? This goes for everybody that like, I know just like statistically, I was like, that's where my brain goes. How can I make the most money fast so I can then like implement other things? Like, it's like that. If you coach 19 people a week, then that means that you've got 21 other hours if you want to work a 40-hour week that you can then do the debt consulting, the fairy god like and make the fairy godmother offering. The original question was I'm buffering and I don't know why I'm not moving faster with it. I think it's because you're just like there's just a lot.
there's just a lot.
I think that's why your brain is buffering. And I think it like maybe it was for a reason. And it's like so that we can like then talk about resilient life a little bit more and get people like hype about resilient life. Cause I think that you are sold on the debt consulting. I'm not sure if you're like as hype about resilient life.
And I think that's what, like, I think that's what it's going back to is like, I think about the belief triad and I'm like, the debt stuff, I know I can coach anybody at any time, at any level. But like, when it comes to the resilient life, I'm like, oh, what exactly is that? And like, I know, and I find it comical because it's like, God gave me the name of the company and said, you're to teach people resiliency. And I'm like, oh boy, you need to teach me. I need some more help in this. And he's been showing me.
Mm.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, sitting down with these pillars and going, okay, how again do I pull these into making content and stuff like that, where it's not going to be a brain drain for me. And then, yeah, just all the things. So like, I know, I feel like there's a crack in the door and I can't wait to kick the freaking door down.
I think so too. And I'm like, I literally think that like I think the reason that you didn't make this stuff is because you were supposed to sell yourself on resilient life. I think that's like why, like, if we let's just choose, that's our reason why. And if you want to do the fairy godmother and the debt consulting, I want you to, everybody to hear that I'm not telling you not to do and try different things in your business at all. That is not at all what I'm saying. The fairy godmother for an evergreen, that would just be instead of having your freebie be, book a consult. So everyone on, if you want to do Instagram, I think a freebie is book a consult. Book a consult. I'd love to work with you. Let's get started. Instead of yours being book a consult for resilient life, having the fairy godmother or the debt collecting thing could be your other option, as long as you're seeing it as a piece of your funnel, not a separate offer. If you see it as a separate offer, that means like a separate business. So like we would want to market each of these with the same intent. The like so it's like that's where I think the philosophy between a single offer comes in. And that's just like the mindset around it. However, if you want to be like, hey, thanks for following me. I've got this like $47 thing. Would you want it? Great. And then it's like, hey, by the way, I'm glad that you did the fairy godmother thing. I also do consulting. You want to do it? Great. Hey, I also do one-on-one coaching for 6 months. Do you want to do it? Great. You see it as like a piece of the pie, not something separate that like all these people are opting into. Like, I want you to reach back out to every single person that you did after you sell yourself on the Resilient Life Initiative. And we're going to talk about how to do that. If you're not feeling super sold on your offer, like, oh my God, like, I want you to feel like Resilient Life is the best thing since sliced bread. That like every single person and their mother should be doing the Resilient Life Initiative. And when you have that conviction, that's what's selling the debt consulting. It's your thoughts about it, not necessarily the debt consulting itself or the price of it.
Right, the energy I'm bringing to the table when I talk about it.
Yes. And so it's like, I would love for you to reach out to everyone you did debt consulting with. You have their contact info, yeah?
Oh,
Let's reach out to all of them and be like, hey, by the way, to start the new year, I want you to help you start the new year strong. And coming back to like the networking and outreach piece of things and being like, I want to let you know I have this completely new offer. It's called the Resilient Life Initiative. And we would work together one-on-one to manage your money and life so you are set up for 2024 and beyond. Do you want to meet up sometime this week to talk about how it could work for you? It's 6 months and it's going to change your life. I have a feeling if you did that, of how many people do you think you've done debt consulting with?
I lost count.
A ton
lot.
of people, right?
A lot
So
being
maybe 19 of them would want to work with you, and then you'd be set and you can do all the other things, and you can sell the debt collection, you can sell the other things. And I'm not saying that you can't, but I would recommend that, like, then you can be like, okay, like, then you can give yourself the freedom to create this fairy godmother offer, take your time with it. So that, like, sell out with a wait list. Why not? And then you're just bringing in this 20K a month. Remember how you were like just a couple weeks ago, your brain was like, we should go back to a job. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, so it's like just interesting how like our brains are like, so not only am I not going to go back to the job, but I'm going to do a 20,000 a month. Like, I don't hit 20,000 a month. Like, but it's like, it's just interesting to see your brain doing this. And that's why I'm like, sell yourself on Resilient Life. Let's make 20K a month. Let's not feel any scarcity around money. And then you're going to feel free. I think that you might have felt some, not scarcity, but like just like, oh my God, I need to make money. So I'm just going to add things like the fairy godmother offering in this potentially.
I don't think it was scarcity. I think it was me mathematically going, okay, how do I have a goal to get to 20K? If all of my people were to do payment plans, like, and not pay up front, then it's like I get to do 19 new clients every month that are signing up. Because that's what that's what that comes out to.
Yeah,
And then my brain was going, okay, how can we do this that it's sustainable? Because, like vacation and holidays and all that, would I be able to keep up with marketing and continuing to sign 19 new clients while fulfilling other clients for 6 months on one-on-one? So those are the components I think I want to say that that's like part of my thought process as I was looking, okay, how do we get this 20K without driving myself bonkers?
I think so it wasn't a money scarcity. I think it was like a time scarcity, or like an energy scarcity, like a time, like, so it's like, I don't want to, I don't want to take 80-hour weeks. Not ideal. And I also don't want to lose my mind and like go bonkers. It's like,
Yeah, like burnout, right? Because like if you're
Mhm.
constantly coaching and you have no white space in between the day because you got to do marketing and also follow up and all messaging and all that stuff, like I can see myself burning out from that, and that's what I don't want.
okay, so there are just some, we just want to like take a look at these. I loved it. I was talking every single call I've had, like I've had people just reporting things, their thoughts, like the news. They're like, obviously, if you didn't have any white space in the day, you would have a lot of burnout. And it would be like, like, so it's like your brain is thinking that that's why you're not selling Resilient Life as well. You're thinking that if I were to be doing this, it would be very hard. And that's why I have to come up with another way. Something like that. Because you're like, I don't want to do this. Is that maybe the thought? I was like, it's like, I'm going to
That
burn out if I do this.
subconsciously, I think maybe
I
that,
think so.
yeah. Or could I actually do that? Is it
Could
sustainable?
I? Is it
Something like that. Yeah.
and do you see how it sounds like that's very like, it's like when we say like, is it sustainable? Like literally that was the exact on my last mastermind call. She was like, I just want to create it. Like, it's like, I just don't feel like it's sustainable. It's like I was like, wait, sustainable is like a thought. It's a feeling. Like ease is a feeling, burnout is a feeling that you can choose. Like your thoughts can create burnout.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when we're thinking about it in that form, like there's obviously like sleep deprivation and like physical burnout and things like that. But it's like, what if burnout is an option
Mm-hmm.
and you don't actually have to get burnt out with 19 clients? I can tell you right now, I've never coached more in my life. I have 18 one-on-ones and I've got 2 groups going. So I'm coaching 22 hours a week. I've never felt more alive. I've never felt less burnt out. I am absolutely loving every minute. I really don't have a lot of white space in my day at all right now. And it has not been a problem at all. Like I have felt and there was a time in my life when I had different thoughts that, oh my God, 17 clients is too many. And I repelled people and I had 17 clients and 8 quit in a week. It was just this random, like, and I know it's from my thoughts. So I'm just saying in general, we want to work on your thoughts about this so we don't repel humans. And also like just recognize, like, because I'm just like, learn from me. Please don't do what I did. And if you do, we'll course correct. But within this, it's like, what if you could have 19 clients and still get all of your marketing done with a ton of ease? What if you didn't have to market as much to bring in 19 consistent clients?
I
And it's
would
not like
love.
I need to bring 19 new clients in, maybe, or you can just do it twice a year. If your program 6 months, you only have to sell 19 spots and then they're with you for 6 months. You don't have to do 19 new clients a week or 19 new clients a month. I think that your brain is in that thought because this is how you built your business is it's all new, but they're not new. You get to keep them for a whole 6 months. Larry gets to stay with you from January to June. And you do not, I don't know if Larry's a person. It just sounded like a good name. I was like, Larry seems like he needs a resilient life initiative. But it's like your brain was thinking that you need to re-sign new people. And I think that's why I was like, man, that would be hard, but you don't. And you could still hit 20K and just do this once. And you could hit 20K months, have 19 new clients that you've signed from all of your past debt collecting. Maybe there are 19 of them. I'm willing to bet money on it. If they're that thrilled after just one call with you, it's like if one call could shift your life that much, I want you to imagine how much 6 months with me could change.
And it's interesting you're saying this because I was sitting here doing the math and it's like if everybody paid in full up front, that's like 123,500 for every 19 people that sign up for 6 months with me. I think I built it on the equation of people needing a payment plan. And then it's like, oh, if people fall away and this and that and the other, because I'm so used to working with people who are financially strained that
Mhm.
now I have these beautiful subconscious beliefs of, oh, they will need a payment plan when the
Mhm.
actually I'm looking at like my most recent clients, one of them was a paid in full and the
Mhm.
other one was like she thought she needed a payment plan. I set her up on one and then by the time the second payment was due, she's like, can I just pay the rest of it? So, okay,
Exactly.
this is
So it's
fascinating.
just like, isn't that fascinating? And I'm like, and I want you to know that you could be the best coach in the world. Cause I don't want you to think like, oh, well, if this has been a debt problem, like then I would figure it out. The best coaches in the world wouldn't have been able to see this coming because you can't see your own brain. So it's like, because I want you to build belief for the fact that you're a fucking kick-ass coach and that people would like, you're incredible. The Resilient Life Initiative is going to change their lives. So from here, hold on, I want to remove the link and relink it. From here, we want to create, yep, this is for everybody. If you're feeling like, ooh, I'm not sure if I'm sold on my offer, this is something called intentional thought creation. And I want you to sell yourself every day on why your offer is the best offer ever. And like you can even add that little aspect of the belief triad. It's like, I understand that selling Resilient Life is going to make me the money I want faster, and it's my lowest hanging fruit. They understand that Resilient Life is the best program for them because it's going to change their life in so many ways. My business understands that this is the fastest way for me to hit my goals faster. It is clear that and if we think about for you, it's clear that I'm amazing as a coach. And it's clear that I get people results, whether it's for a 30-minute call or for a 6-month time period.
Mhm.
Then where do I agree already? It's clear that they understand that this is an incredible program for them and is going to change it is clear that they will get incredible results. And it's clear that my business gives, where is it? Money management, stress, relationships, confidence, and direction, or clearly defined goals are all things that they need in their life. And I'm here for them.
Mm.
So I want you to just like, and I put that link in there for everybody. If you're feeling anything less than my offer is the best thing since sliced bread, I want you to sell yourself on your offer every single day. I have not just these problems, but like every day when I'm doing my own self coaching, which again, I haven't done in, well, ever.
Props, but like every day I haven't done it.
Ooh, whoops. I was like, I was like, let me see my recent ones. Recent.
Thank you,
I
by
did
the
this
way.
morning.
This is so helpful.
Oh my gosh, of course. And if anyone needs to like roll really quick, that's totally fine. But I have every day, I think about what's clear, I ask myself just the basics. Lots of thoughts from other people that have been helpful for me. At the very bottom, okay, I have what's clear, what do I love about this? What about this works? How will it be more fun? How will this give me more time? What do I know? And what am I doing that sets myself up for success?
And those are the questions you have on the template that you shared with us.
At the top.
I love you. Thank you.
Of course, I love you. I'm like, and I think this is helpful for everybody because I know it can be like, oh my God, well, it's $47. Like, that would never hurt my business. It's like, of course, they want to buy something that's $47 more. It's more about the cost to your business that we want to avoid.
And
The cost
okay.
to the, like, it's like the cost of the time
Okay.
that we want to avoid. And again, if you want to create this, like once we sell out these one-on-ones, sell that fairy godmother offer, sell the 30-minute debt consulting, go for it. But I want you, like, I want that to be secondary to your goal. Just because you paid me to help you reach your goals.
Love it.
I love you. This is so good. I think this helped everybody. I am just thrilled because I really think that like you guys are asking all of the right questions. Like that's one of the most fun things about like every group has asked really phenomenal questions, like regardless. And I also think that this group, like you guys are thinking at an extremely high level really quickly. And I'm like, this is like, if we're here, it is week 5, 6. Just think about where we're going to be 20 weeks from now. Like, we're going places. It's like, what? So we got time. If you have any questions. Oh, okay. I was like, Anise, do you still need coaching or are you feeling good? And if you don't need coaching,
Yes, I'd love some actually.
oh my gosh, of course. Okay, so if anybody needs to go, I love you dearly. And do you mind if I just very quickly use the facilities? So as I chug some water. Okay, so bathroom break. I love you, and I will be back in like 2 seconds.
This has been so good.
Yes, it has. Sharon, are you still there? No, she just sent me a message. Yeah, no, really good. It's so interesting, isn't it, how our brain goes on to like super like, oh, I could do this, and then I could do this, and I could do this. And it is kind of like it's a bit like seeing a child and well, you've got children, yeah, I've got children. It's like children in a toy store. Yeah, just one.
Right.
One.
Right. And then it's interesting because I've had other mentorship go, well, go for the lowest hanging fruit and just get people to open their wallet. And then after a time, they'll open it for higher investments and stuff. So I'm going, okay, so if I do the $47 thing, then that's the way to go. But then what Meg said made a lot of sense. Well, yeah, because like once I get that going and I have consistency, well, then I've got bills are covered. I'm able to invest more money, which means I could hire in people to help me put the programs together for the fairy godmother after, so it's like, it's brilliant. It's freaking brilliant.
So true.
I just love you. And it's like, it's cool to see like there are so many different ways to like run a business. Like everyone will tell you that there are just so many different philosophies. We just get to choose what feels right to you. And if I just want to present you with all the facts when you make a decision and be like, here's my thoughts. And I'm really, really excited to see what you create. I have a feeling that what if 19 people this week sign up for your program? Like that would be just so, I could see it happening. I'm like, we're going to send positive vibes, all the peoples to Resilient Life. It's going to be awesome. And start with a win and then let's get into it.
my win was the being forced to really clarify the impact of my offer because of my consult on Friday.
Ooh.
It was really, when I finished it, I was like, a bit like you were just talking to Tammy, it's like, fucking hell, this is the best thing ever. Like you said, best things like bread, because I really had to dig in, and then I kept asking myself, like, what's the impact? What are they getting from this? And then I mean, you'll be so proud of it. Or next to all of my process, I've got like 5 bullet points, what
Oh,
they're getting. When I did my follow-up email or my next email, I then put that in. So that was a real win. And actually, I've done some work on it again today as well. And again, really, really connecting with it, connecting with the offer. And I think going back to what you were just talking with Tammy, I've got to do that every day. And I'm not doing that.
and I
Because
like, even like in my thought work, like I'll say, because one of the biggest things for me as a teacher, you got to know what your thing is that's stopping you from selling hard. Mine is that like the money. I always get real tripped up on the money. I always am like, oh my gosh, is it worth this? So I ask myself every day, why is it worth it? Why is
I
this
know,
worth it?
I don't think we've got this, by the way. I just looked in
I'll set it.
the,
I was like, I'll add it to this is just my daily thought work. It's just aggressive.
I love it. No, I like, no, but I think we're getting quite aggressive, aren't we? It's great. We're all kind of getting really like into it. It's
I
brilliant.
think we are. And I'm like, I am here for that. So I'll add that to yours because it's like, that's one of the things that like helped me. And I sold myself on my offer being 12K for a year, an entire 12 months of writing every day it's worth 12K before I ever raised my price. And now, and I sold my offer like they'd paid me 12K.
Jesus.
And it was like, it was really just so awesome to be like, then anyone that's like, oh my God, it's like 12K is a lot. And I'm like, it is, but like, it's like, tell me what you mean by that. Like, let's make it work for you because I know it's worth it. I know I can help you sign 4 clients if your program's 4K or something. So love this. What could I help you coach on? And I did not just mean to like mock your accent at all. I just realized that you have a British accent by like sometimes I talk in like fun accents and I was like, it was just like in the moment. And I was like, I just love your accent, but also I was like, it was fun. It was fun.
Oh no, no worry, don't worry. Actually, it's quite funny. Sharon and I were just having a little chat about when I say getting my knickers in a twist, and she's like, "I love the fact you just said that."
Right? It's so good. I'm like, I was
I love
like,
it.
permission to potentially use that in the future. I'm like, I love
Yeah,
it.
so, um, I think what I need to process or get out of my head
Mhm.
is I know what I probably need to do, but I'm just not. So what I mean by any of that rabble was like I'm doing all the mechanical stuff. So I'm doing the reels and I've got this, I've got all that sorted, and I've even done them like fleshing out my offer. And I even know that it's such a good product. I know I need to, in my evaluation, I need to just do that little finesse bit of how does my program fit you? But that will come with
Mhm.
that. I know that. I'm thinking that it's the thought work which is getting in the way. Like me not doing the thought work, and I'm not sure why I'm not doing it.
Okay, so got thoughts for you. I was like, but getting in the way of what is the thing I want to clarify.
I think it's getting in the way of the flow of people. Like you say to Tammy, like even last week when you answered Tammy's thing about like you can get 4 clients this month. And when I heard you say that to her, like, you just want 4K this month, just get 4 clients. And I've been going to bed every night saying, all I need is 1 client this week,
Mhm.
1 consult this week that says yes. And that feels so possible, but it's like, what's getting in the way is that sense of like, unless people actually book the consult, you can't even you can't even sign the client.
Yeah. So that's where you feel like it's out of your control.
Yeah, because I'm doing all the work
Mhm.
and I don't want to like, I know that I'm doing the work. Well, I think I'm doing the work.
Yeah.
But
So you're like, okay, if I'm checking the boxes, why are they not booking?
yes.
Essentially. Which I
And then,
totally get that. Is that
yeah,
sounding right to you?
yes.
Okay, so here's what I want to offer everybody is that when we're thinking about our business, we can ask the same question and have a different feeling behind it. So I think that your feeling is potentially, if you're like, if I'm checking the boxes, like, why aren't they booking? And it
Mhm.
might be like, they should be booking by now. Like they should, if I'm doing everything that Megan says, there should, they should be
Mhm.
booking,
Why
or
am I not?
I'm missing something.
Yes.
Right.
Am
And
I?
I think you're like, maybe the something that's missing is the thought work. Right. So I think that like this is something that I've realized is a really is seemingly like it's like a sneaky sassy thought because it's
Mhm.
like within your like it doesn't seem like a really like like we'll have phases in your business where you know that you're having negative self-talk and you can tell and it's clear and you're like I'm shitting on my brain.
Yeah.
What I think happens is after you get through that phase, then you get into like this kind of like shooting on your brain and it's like a not as bad form. So
Mm,
um
That
but
makes
it's
sense.
just as unproductive.
Yes.
Still unproductive if the feeling isn't aligned for you. So I could say, I think I'm missing something. What could it be? And
Mm.
it has that edge of possibility versus I'm missing something and it just kind of feels like it doesn't open up you to possibilities. It kind of is like, fuck. So that's where I'm saying it's like still feeling unproductive. Is that kind of like where you're feeling right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to say, okay, thank you, brain. Your brain is braining
Mhm.
and it's trying to solve a problem. And this is like the most like trippy thing that I figured out like in August of this year. But we don't want to solve problems by thinking they're a problem. It
Mm.
like does it, I know this sounds like crazy, but what
No, I like.
happened, does that make sense? Okay, so here's what I realized is I had this thought that was like my marketing is shit. I was like, I like marketing sucks. It really needs some work because if my marketing was better, I'd be getting more consults. Same, like I think that's a flavor of what you're having. Maybe not exactly, but that's my thoughts. I was like, if I had better marketing, I'd be getting more consults. What happens though is if your brain is thinking there's a problem, what's going on is polyvagal theory is somewhere. Anyways,
Mhm.
yeah. So within your, it's like putting you into a state of fight or flight, shuts off your blood flow to your prefrontal cortex, and you can't actually solve that problem when you're feeling like a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of worry, concern, a little bit of frustration. Your
Mm.
brain like physically is not getting blood flow to that part of your brain. So now you are given this wonderful opportunity to learn the skill of experiencing your nervous system thinking there's a threat. It's like, oh, this should be booking more consults and staying as regulated as possible. It's not the goal to stay regulated 100% of the time, but like, how can I be curious and open? How can I be like more compassionate and then solve this by and create a solution?
Mm.
So, like the way that I like to think about it is like going from like there's something bad or something has gone wrong. If you're trying to go from bad or wrong to good or right, it's very difficult. Like it's like
Mm.
if I'm like my marketing is shit to like my marketing is good, it's
Yeah. It's
very
too much.
hard for my, it's
Yeah.
like it's too, yeah, it's too much of a jump. But if I'm
Mm.
like, okay, my marketing is clearly good enough to get me here. I have
Mm.
worked with people. People have booked consults. Something is working. And what is my next level to go from good to great? What
Mm.
and then that's where you can have that like it's like I wonder what I haven't said that could take people over the edge without adding more stuff. Now, I think there is a huge merit to doing thought work. That's why it's the first thing that I talk to you guys about. However, I don't want you to add things from a place of something's missing. I
Yes.
don't want you, like, I want you to add it from a place of like, my business is clearly kicking ass, and I would love to add thought work to, because I think that's something that would be my next level for improvement. That's why I have like improve, not working, you know?
Nice. Yes. Yes. So rather than going in, like, I've got to do the thought work because I'm obviously doing it wrong. So if I do this, and it's that sort of sense of I can control this. If I just do this, then maybe it'll work.
Mhm.
And you're actually saying if you come in with come in like tomorrow morning, if I put this in thought work tomorrow morning from a different perspective with a different emotional intention, then different bits of my brain will be working online.
Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like it'd be fun to add some thought work. I would love to be more intentional. That's
Yeah.
why I want to add thought work.
Yes.
All of those from like this, like nothing's missing. I'm in control. I've figured out consults before, and I'm learning how to be even more in control of my consults while still leaving like a little space for like trusting the process and being like, sometimes I don't know. Like, I remember my friend Janae told me that she was like, do you think there's another, I don't know if you guys know DL, but she's a coach that's made a million, and she's actually younger than I am. And she's like, do you think DL knows where her next client is coming from? No, she's trust the process. And I said, I hate that answer. It was like, this is not helpful. I was like, you can't make a million and just trust the process. Dislike. I was like, don't love this, but if you can shift, it's like just leaving us still a little bit of room for like that trusting the universe. That's my work as well. Why do you think I made so much systems? I was like, I literally made all these systems because I was like, I am going to figure out how to make a six-figure business if it kills me. I was like, and I'm going to make it statistically proven. I'm going to look up all the numbers. And even then, still don't have the exact formula to make six figures. It's going to be different for everybody.
Mhm.
You know, it's like I just have made these because I'm like, stats say that this should work, and it did work for me, and it's working for other people. That's why my systems are the way they are. For you, if we're thinking about like the kind of business you want to do and the kind of business, like I would love to have a business where I feel really intentional. I would love to build this business and add thought work from a place of like, nothing is wrong. I'm still in control. How does that feel to you?
Yeah.
Like, isn't this fun?
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I just love you guys so much. So it's like from that
Mhm.
place of still being in control and
Mhm.
still having the result of signing one client, what would, what if none of your A line needs to change? What if exactly what you're doing is the perfect thing for your
Mhm.
people, and trusting that it's going to reach whatever goals you want? Let's say, for instance, the goal of signing one client. What would you want to think instead of being like, I just feel like something's like a little bit missing. So, like, I need to get out of my head. It's like, instead of
Mhm.
that, what would you want to think instead?
What's coming up is like having fun with it.
Yes.
Like
What can you think to have more fun? Funny
having
enough, it makes your neurons go faster.
having fun with the process, enjoying the process, enjoying the maybe even enjoying the fact that you can put in 80% of the processes, and then the 20% of you don't know when the next one's going to come along, and that's okay. It was to say about being okay with the unknown, aren't we always saying that as coaches?
Mm-hmm. All the time. But it's like it's so much it's like, but in your life, yes, but business, I like always feel like I'm like, but business is like kind of different. I'm like, weight loss is kind of different. It's like, but like it's funny how our brains are like, yeah, your thoughts create your results like some of the time. But when we're thinking about like, I think the reason why there's been maybe a bit of pressure is like, I think that pressure has potentially worked for you in other careers and like in your life. It's like when I put pressure on myself, I create results. And I would love for it to be like when I have fun, I create results.
Mm.
And you mentioned your
Yeah.
stories, you were like, they're a little, I forget what word you said, but you're like,
Oh no, I'm just using, yeah, that I think I could jazz them up a bit. They're just the Canva thing. I think they could be a bit cuter. So
yeah.
that's what I was saying.
So it's
Yeah.
like from there, it's like my stories are awesome and I'm gonna jazz it up even more. My stories are already jazzy solidly with the Canva. And I'm gonna jazz it up even more. Same like good to great thought, I
Mm.
think would be awesome. Like there too, you know? What thought could always like if as soon as you sit down to market,
Mhm.
what is a thought that can always bring you back to fun?
Um, I guess what's coming up is the client that I'm speaking to through my marketing. I know that if they came on board, we would have fun. We would, because suddenly it would all get unlocked and they'd see everything flourishing and there'll be freedom and flow.
Freedom and just to clarify, you mean like as I am marketing to people, I'm unlocked having flourishing freedom and flow.
I was actually thinking about the client would
After they
have,
sign you. Like
but
it's
I
like because
like,
it's like
like
it's like even before I sign my clients, I am unlocking their flourishing ability to experience freedom and flow. It's like
mm,
what if like how fun would that be? Like, do you have fun when you're coaching?
I have lots of fun when I coach.
It's like the
Lots of
best thing
fun.
ever, right? Like it's like I love coaching humans and I'm like, if you couldn't tell, I'm having a blast. And when I'm actually like in here, like actually like in the coaching, I'm like, what are my thoughts? How cool would it be if I could have those thoughts while I'm marketing? And then I
Yeah.
was like, okay, that like what that's like the learning how to, and I know that like if you're having fun, people are drawn. I feel like people will be totally drawn to that.
Mm,
And I want you to know that like that 80%, it's like
mm,
I think I talked about like the compounding results. Like so it's like you're pounding away every day, but you just have to keep pounding away consistently to see the compounding results of your effort.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like it was a reel that my aunt was talking about at Christmas. It's like
Mm,
within like your business, it can feel like I have posted every freaking day. I did 922 posts in 2022.
mm,
And I was like, how did I do this? Like, actually, in 2021, I did that many posts and I made 47K. And I'm like, how did that work? And the
mm,
ironic part about it is did, I don't know how many posts I did in like 2022, but I did less posts and I made more.
mm,
Like
yeah.
I went from 47 to 120
Mm,
because of the compounding results. It's like I learned how to do it better. I got better, faster, stronger, and I learned how
mm,
to make 47K instead of in 12 months. I learned how to do it in like 6 months
yeah.
or
Yeah.
5, whatever the math is, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like just know that the work that you're doing is worth it. If you just keep putting the work in, this is the hardest part because you have to like it's like that seeing with believing that they're there without seeing the results yet. But I want you to know you're gonna get past this point. If you can have fun with it now at this stage in the journey, it's like a hike when you're like at the very beginning, you're like, sheesh. It's like I do not want to do this. I not want it's like all the thoughts that you might maybe it's just me. I was like, and I'm not a hiker, so but wait, if I was a hiker, I can imagine that I'd be like, I do not want to continue to climb this. But once you get through this, you're like, oh, well, that's a pretty view. Oh, this is actually working. I'm actually way higher. I'm higher than I thought I would be in a shorter period of time. If you could have fun at the beginning, just think about how much more fun it's going to be as you build it too.
Yeah.
So badass. And if you need like a little post-it note, put like fun on there. Like I literally like had post-it notes everywhere of like, this is how I really want to feel. I was like, brain, I know you don't feel this way right now, but we're gonna like life isn't fun. I'm gonna make it fun. Building a business isn't fun. I'm gonna make it fun, you know?
Yeah. No, it's good. And I'm really pleased that I actually spoke about it, because I think I would have spent the next week like being dutiful and like, I must put the thought work in and and it's like it was coming from a different perspective, and it would be coming from that place of, as you were saying earlier, like something it's not working, scarcity, let's do some thought, let's put a bandage over it. And actually you're saying, oh, I just look at it differently. Yeah.
Everything that you're doing is always working. And I think I talked about this in the planning. I was like, I forget when I talked to you guys about it, but there are things that you do. No, I was like, in one of the posts that I'll do, it's like there are things that you can see that like will directly make an impact in your business, and then there are indirect things that make an impact. Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know where it is, but I'll find it. It's coming up. It's actually the next week, so I'll show it to you now. But like within my business, there were like so many things that I did. I did not do thought work for the past 30 days. And I've made the most money. I've made the most money at this point in my month ever. And I was like, I don't know
Is
how
that
many
com-
pages of thought work I did, but I was like, I think I have it here. Yeah. I did
Yeah.
like 130 hours of just self-coaching. And I did maybe like, what's like 15 times maybe 200 days this year at most. That's a lot of time. I don't know how much I spent, but it was like that's a lot of time actually. But I was like, I really didn't spend as much time as I did last year with it. And it just keeps getting you, because you figure out more and you're a different person as you do it. So just keep trusting the process, trust in the unknown. And I'm so glad that you raised your hand. Anyone who's like, I feel like I'm going to spend the next week spiraling, please don't. Please don't do that. Oh yeah, it was 3,000. What's 3,000 divided by 60? Whatever that is. But it's like
50.
oh, I turned off my phone. But anyways, so whatever that is, that's how many actual hours I spent this year. I still think it's less than 130, but I'd be shocked. I don't know. That's how many minutes it was. It was 50 minutes. Yeah, 50 minutes versus 130 minutes. So less. In short, it was less. Math.
But it was less.
It was less. And when we're thinking about like that's why having this community is also really helpful too. But like reach out to us. We've got you. Love you, Tammy. And if you guys have any questions at all, I don't know where the chat is. I was like,
So
yes,
good.
but if there's, oh my goodness. Tammy was like, here's math. I was like, thanks. I was like, help. But yeah, I think that's, oh my gosh, Sharon, this is beautiful. I'm gonna post this in here. It's like you're just doing the interrupting mindset, and I call it like pattern interrupting. I'm just gonna add what you put in here, but like that's the steps to pattern interrupt. We can just get really like and use your feelings as a guide to be like, I'm feeling like something is missing. Be like, anytime I'm feeling something is missing, we can be like, it's time to interrupt this pattern. There's something going on that probably won't serve my business. So I just posted in the thing.
And what really stuck out to, whoops.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that. And what really sticks out to me, and I always have to remind myself, is that because when you have that logical brain that always wants to go to the logic and predictability, because that's kind of where this is at, always have to think, well, then I'm not looking at the possibility. So I have that left brain that always wants to engage in the predictability and the logical, like I'm doing all these things, this makes logical sense, this should happen, but I need to go back to what's the possibility.
Who is she? Yes, absolutely. This is so good. Because like when you focus on like, and if we think about what's probable, then you always are thinking about what's in the past versus the
Right.
possible of the future.
Right.
What you have here. So good. Yes.
Awesome.
Love. Thank you so much. I was like, are you feeling complete today?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing.
It
I am so
continues.
proud.
I was gonna
Huh?
say, we all just need to continue sharing our fabulous selves.
Yes, continue sharing the fabulousness because people want this. Like, it's the best time ever for people to invest in a coach. Like, this is their time now, and we get to help them show that it is. So awesome
Yeah.
work, everybody. You guys are just like the greatest humans ever. I'm so honored to be your coach. And if you have any questions in the meantime, post, tag me, and I will see you guys next week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, love. Bye, Sharon.
course.
Do reach out.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.